Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Dear students, I, Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science from Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all in this lecture series of Subject Operating System. We have discussed in previous lecture what is loop and how it can be executed. We have already discussed the syntax also. So as we are awareing with different kind of programming languages, suppose we want to execute some of the statements multiple times or repeatedly. In that case, we are using the concept of loop. In different programming languages, the syntax may differ. In previous session, we have discussed whatever the loop supported in Linux or Unix operating system, that are while loop, until and the for loop. We have already discussed the syntax. Now in today's session, we are continuing with the programs, or you can say that the shell programs that executes all these for loops. So you can get idea how this loop can be executed in shell programming, right? So we can start with the first loop, that is the while loop. Now we are creating one program that contains the while loop. So we are just creating with the help of VI editor. So I am giving the name while demo.sh. Now VI editor will open. You want to insert something. In that case, you have to convert the mode from that particular command line execution mode to the insert mode. So I am pressing here escape and I. So now my mode will be changed, that is insert mode. Now this is the demo for while loop. So what is the syntax? As we have discussed, you have to first of all declare one variable, because whenever you want to execute any loop, you are requiring some iterations, and that iteration that can be maintained with some variable. So I am taking one variable name I and assign the value 1, say for example. Then after the syntax will start while. Here square bracket you can write. If you don't want to write the square bracket, another alternative is that you can use the test command, right? Now you want to check the loop condition. So you can write here $i, say for example less than or equal to, and then after say for example 10. So here what happened, whenever I am writing this statement, so first of all while, then after the square bracket, that indicates the test condition. Then after I have mentioned $i, that means the value of I that will be put here. So I equal to initially 1. Then after LE, that is the comparison operator, or you can say that the relational operator. So it will check with the 10. So first of all 1 less than or equal to 10, this condition satisfied or not. If this condition is satisfied, then after the execution or the control goes inside the body of the loop. So how the body of the loop will start? So there is one keyword do that will indicate the body of the loop will start, and then after the body of the loop will completed by using the keyword done. In between these two keywords do and done, you have to mention all the statements that you want to execute for this while loop, right? So here I would like to print the value of I. So I can mention here $i. So it will print the value of I. Now every time I would like to increment the value of I. That's why that loop continues till the condition satisfied. So I can mention here, you can use expr statement. So I can change the value here of the I by using expr. Now I would like to increment it by 1. So I can use +1. Then after grave ascent is complete, right? Now this loop is completed. Whenever I will execute this shell script, it will print the value from I equal to 1 to 10, right? So I am saving this script. Now I can run by using sh while demo.sh. So you can see here the loop will be executed. The value starts from 1 and ends with 10, right? So while loop that will execute all the statements inside do and done keywords when the condition is satisfied. So when the condition remains satisfied, all the statements will be executed. Now we are going to use the same thing, but the loop is different, that is until loop. So let us start with another code, that is vi and the until loop. again changing the mode, insert here demo for loop, demo for until. Now what is the difference between while and the until loop? So remember one thing, in while loop, whenever the condition will check, until the condition remains true, whatever the statements inside the loop will execute. While in the case of until, when the condition is false, the statements inside that particular body of the loop that will be executed, and if the condition is true, then the loop is terminated. So we'll see the same program but using the until loop. So the syntax is same, I equal to 1, I am initializing that particular variable. Then instead of while we are using until, but here the condition relational operator that will differ. In previous case we have used $i and less than, but here we are using greater than or equal to, and then after say for example 10. What it means? First of all, I equal to 1, it will check 1 greater than or equal to 10 or not. So here condition is not satisfied. So this condition is not satisfied, that's why the control passes inside the loop, and when the condition will become true, then the loop will terminate. That is the basic difference between while loop and the until loop. So now loop will start with do and it will complete with the done, same as the previous loop. In between you have to mention whatever the statements you want to execute. So you can write echo and $i. Then after you can change the value, you can iterate, you can increment the value of I by using expr statement, $i plus 1. Then after grave ascent complete. Now I am saving this code by using wq. Now execute this code until demo dot sh. So you can observe here 1 to 9 will print. Now suppose you want to print 1 to 10, you can change here the relational operator, you can change the condition greater than or equal to. In that case you can write here greater than only, right? Then after I am saving my code, execute again. Okay, here 1 will be misprinted. Grave ascent is there. Save your code. Now you can check. So now this will print 1 to 10. So we have already discussed this while loop and until loop, what is the difference. Now we are moving with the for loop. So start with for loop, for demo. Now remember one thing, according to the shell, the syntax may vary slightly. Say for example, right now we are continuing with our code with normal shell sh, right? So whatever the syntax that we are using, that may differ if you are using some another shell. We will also discuss that thing. So here I am putting one comment. First of all, that is the demo of for loop. Now here for, that is the keyword, I, that is the variable, in, that is again the keyword, and you have to mention the list of values that I will take, right? Say for example, I am writing here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what it means, I variable will take the value from this list, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? And it will print accordingly. Same syntax is there, loop will start with do. I am printing the value of I, and then after it will complete with done. Save your code. Now you can check. So you can observe here it will print 1 to 5, right? So here again I am moving with the code, so you can get idea. For I, in, that is the keyword, and you have to mention here the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now suppose you are not executing this code in the normal shell, you are requiring to execute this code in specific shell, say for example Bourne shell, that is the improved version of sh, right? So in that case you can use the syntax of for loop just like in C language, right? So we can also mention this. We are creating one new code. We say for example for demo 1 dot sh. Now insert mode. I can put the comment here, for loop in bash shell. So the syntax that you are using, that is just like a C language, but the only difference is that you have to put here double parenthesis, I equal to 1, say for example, then after semicolon, I less than or equal to 10. As you have already done in the C language, same syntax you can use here, increment operator, but it ends with double parenthesis. Then after loop statement starts with do, you can write here whatever the statement you want to execute. I would like to print the value of I, so I can mention echo $i, and the loop will complete with the done statement, right? Now I am saving this code. So this is the syntax I have used just like the C language. Now remember one thing, in previous case we are using the for loop and it will take the value from the list. But here we are using the for syntax that's slightly different, specifically executed in the Bourne shell. So in that case, it cannot execute if we are using the same statement, say for example sh for demo 1.sh. So it will display the error message, right? But suppose you want to execute this code, because this code belongs to the specific syntax of Bourne shell, that is the improved version of shell. So you can use here different command, that is bash for execution. The file name is for demo 1.sh. So now you can see the output, right? So whenever the shell will change or the syntax will change, accordingly you have to change your loop, you have to change some of the syntax, you have to change the pattern to execute that particular loop, right? So we are concluding this session. In today's session, we have discussed basically 3 loops: while loop, until loop, and the for loop with different syntax. In next subsequent session, we are continuing with some additional statements like break, continue, and some more advanced logic with this loop concept. Till then, keep coding, keep learning. Thank you.